a child to a crack house and left her child. Poem for some women. I'm all right. I say I'm all right. What you're looking at, I say I'm all right. Doing okay. I'm still writing, producing on the radio. Who I fooling? I'm a little ill now. Just got a little Jones habit. Took my 7-year-old to the crack house with me on Thursday. Beautiful girl, prettiest little girl her mama done ever seen. Took her so she understand why I late sometimes with her breakfast, dinner, bedtime meetings, bedtime love. Wanted her to know how hard it is for me, a single woman out here on her own. So I took her to the crack house where this man, this dog, this former friend of mine lived, wouldn't give me no crack, no action. Even when I opened my thighs to give him some again for the umpteenth time, he said no, all the while looking at my baby, my pretty little baby, and he said, I want her, I need.
Born with Sonia Benita Driver in Birmingham, Alabama on September 9th, 1934, Sonia Sanchez was raised by her grandmother until she was 6 years old, after her mother died when she was 1 year old. At the age of 9, Sonia and her siblings moved with her father, a school teacher, to Harlem, New York, where she picked up street talk, which would later be essential to her literary work. Sonia attended public school and later graduated from Hunter's University in 1955 with a bachelor's degree in art. Later, she attended NYU Graduate School and studied poetry with Louis Bogan. After finishing school, Sonia married Eldridge Knight and had 3 children with him. She supported the group CORE, which was the Commerce of Racial Equality. However, after unfriendly encounters with social rights leaders like Malcolm X, she began to change her poems using controversial topics. In her poems, she began to express her unsatisfaction with the American Anglo school systems and to find ways to improve school systems. Sanchez also wanted to promote more black studies. In 1969, she published her first book of poems for adults called Homecoming, followed by the 1970s We Are Bad People, which focused on black dialect as a black medium. In addition to being an important activist, poet, professor, playwright, and leader in black studies, Sonia Sanchez also writes books for children and introduces young people to a world of poetry. Using black English, she published her book in 1971, It's a New Day, Poems for Our Brothers and Sisters. The Adventures of Fathead, Smallhead, and Squarehead were produced as short films for children in 1979. After her first publication, Sonia joined Nations of Islam. She said that she enjoyed the spirituality of the religion, but also had problems with their repression of women. She later began teaching at Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where she continued to receive numerous awards for her poetry and literary work.
Talk to me, poem. I'm all alone. Nobody understands what I'm saying. Have you been in jail, poem? A lot of poems go to jail, like a lot of women who get tired of no good men. Do no good poems beat up on people? Do no good poems say I'm sorry the next day? I know poems are lost because they're always being found. They're on wanted posters, milk bottles, and lonesome guitars in the night looking for a poem to take home. I know poems get neglected just like doo-wop singing on the back porch and deacons opening church with leaning on the everlasting arms. People forgot what got them over, what saved them. What are your plans, poem? Give it up. I hear you're a rap star now, going for the Grammy and the gold. Everybody's singing your praises. Do you ever miss your home? The sign on I-81 North says shoulders are for emergency only. Ride me, poem. I think I've got the...
On June 7, 1943, in Knoxville, Tennessee, Yolandi Cornelia and Jones Gus Giovanni welcomed their youngest daughter, Yolandi Cornelia Giovanni Jr., also known as Nikki. Nikki Giovanni is one of the best-known African-American poets who reached prominence in the late 1900s. in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Her unique and insightful poetry came from her life experiences from childhood to womanhood, from naive college freshman to civil rights activist. Nikki Giovanni's poetry expresses strong racial and close family pride. Her informal word style makes her poems accessible for adults and children. After moving from Knoxville, Tennessee at a young age to a predominantly black suburb in Ohio, Giovanni became encouraged by many school teachers and became an early attendee at Fisk University, a prestigious black university. In addition to serving as editor of the campus literary magazine, she also worked to restore the Fisk chapter of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. She also was a member of the Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. She graduated Fisk in 1964, then moved on to graduate school at Columbia University in New York City and also at the University of Pennsylvania. In 1968, she also published her first two collections called Black Feeling and Black Talk, in which she reflected on the African American identity. Her inspiration for these collections came after the killings of Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Robert Kennedy. She also felt the need to raise awareness of black civil rights issues. Her first two collections established Giovanni as a prominent black poet. Black Feeling and Black Talk sold over 10,000 copies in its first year, which was a lot for poets during this time. After reciting her poems live for the first time at Birdland, a well-known jazz club in New York City, reviewers critiqued her poems, calling them unsophisticated, while others who felt voiceless saw them as inspiration and solidarity. Giovanni published many books, such as Knoxville, Tennessee, Lincoln and Thomas, but she was well known for her book Rosa. For her great literary work, Giovanni received numerous awards, such as the Coretta Scott King Award for Illustration, NAACP Image Awards, Langston Hughes Awards for Arts and Letters, and the Rosa Parks Award. She also received over 20 honorary degrees. Surviving lung cancer, Giovanni now resides in Blacksburg, Virginia, where she teaches Black Studies at Virginia Tech.